Guys, this is the fashionable king himself, king of fashion. Oh, but yes, he does sustainable fashion. And he's the king of perfumes. He has over 50 collections. Oh, you don't want to know.
Oh, good Lord. How do I proceed with that introduction?
Meaning you have to deliver.
I now have no pressure at all, I guess. So, thank you for having me. My name is Josh. I'm not from Ghana. I'm originally from Zimbabwe, but I have traveled and lived a little bit in Ghana and experienced both sides of like the fast fashion, sort of like in Southern Africa, predominantly Zimbabwe, and in South Africa, you call it bend over boutique. We also do bend over boutique, but also we call it mabero, or mabero is the most popular one, which is essentially a pile of clothes, where you go in a pile of clothes and then you dig until you find your most popular loved brand, and then you go home, wash it, iron it, and then start wearing it as if you bought it at an expensive boutique. Regardless from that, I think the most important thing is understanding the origins and the reasons why. At the end of the day, we have sites that are dumping grounds for fast fashion, and also you have other sites around the world and the other side of the world that are the production hubs, the sweatshops, if you may call them that, of these fast fashions. And then what happens to the guys in the middle, the ones who are in the global north, who are the ones who are either giving the demand on the sweatshops to create and then disposing it to the global south as when they don't want it anymore. So there is more than just a discussion around don't buy this or buy this. There's more of a discussion on why are we in the place where we are today. So looking at aspects like where the site of creation is, in places rather like Bangladesh, India, in China, where those are the hubs of production. You find a lot of not just environmental challenges that are there when it comes to the dyes polluting water sources. You're looking at health risks that exist, long unpaid working hours that exist, like that affect the employees. You're also looking at aspects around health and sanitation. What happens when there's a fire that breaks out in a sweatshop? If you Google search articles around sweatshops in India and fire hazards and maybe disasters that have occurred, you hear a lot of these gruesome tales of how a fire breaks out in a sweatshop and they can't leave because they were locked inside to work the whole day, and there's no window, there's no door to escape from. They are locked inside, and a lot of employees would actually die in there. And then the employer doesn't even give out a good payout. You now go to the other side where we receive what other disposed goods in these big piles of like 40 kilos, 20 kilos, 100 kilo bags of all these clothes that have been discarded now after wear. You're also looking at not just the environmental risks of dumping these garments in Ghana, in Zimbabwe, in Chile. You're looking at the health risks that occur for the ecosystem, for the people living in these areas. So it's a lot of health, workplace inequalities that exist on both the site of production and site of disposal. But then the people in the middle, who are the consumers, the ones who are buying in the shop, in the Zaras, in the Bershka, in the Pull and Bear, just to name and shame a few brands, those are the ones who are not really looking at where it's coming from, or after they've worn it at the beach, and taken Instagram photos at the beach, and they've disposed it in the next recycling bin, where that's going to go. So there's a lot more consciousness that we need to have as individuals, also as consumers of fast fashion, and we need to start having more discussions about, is it even fair that we get to be the dumping site of all these things? Is it even fair that India and Bangladesh doesn't have good drinking water simply because they have to keep creating over 50 collections every single week just to please a TikToker or an Instagrammer who wants to look sexy on a beach for one day or look nice on a graduation party. So big discussions need to be made on sustainability. Stay tuned. We'll be discussing more. We'll be being shady. We'll be naming names, shaming a few people as we talk about the weird, interesting world of fast fashion. See you later, and let's chat some more.